I left Bangkok, Thailand 9 days ago. I was living there for the last 10 months teaching English as a second language at a private Catholic school. It was actually a very interesting experience, but finally decided, because my contract was coming to an end, that I had to decide what it is that I wanted to do next. And I decided for myself, well, I already knew this. I did not want to continue teaching English as a second language ever again, for real. When I decided to leave the state this time around, because I had already lived in China and Thailand before, and I was teaching English in China back in 2018 to 2020, and moved to Thailand from 2020 to 2022, and I was teaching myself digital marketing, working with freelancing, getting my own clients. So when I decided to leave Thailand this time, this was very important for me because I really over it. Like, that's the best way for me to put it. I'm over teaching English. I'm over giving away my time and my energy to jobs when I'm like, I want to grow my personal brand. I want to continue to grow my Go After Freedom Media, creative media agency, from me just freelancing, doing digital marketing for businesses and video editing and social media marketing, to me fully just launching my agency, a remote creative media agency. And so that's what the journey that I'm on these next 90 days with me being here in Vietnam. I'm starting out in Vietnam. I'm doing 30 days here, then I'm planning to do 60 days in Bali, Indonesia, because that was like my biggest goal years and years and years ago when I first moved to Asia, but I never ended up making it to Indonesia due to COVID and everything else. So I'm in this space now, like I'm getting my final bonus for my last contract and everything, and I'm like, what do I want to do with the rest of my time and my energy before I basically have to start my coding program in like June 22nd. I'm starting one of my coding programs because I'm also transitioning into web app and mobile app development. So that is another big part of this journey that I'm on and what it is that I'm doing. And I wanted to share this because a lot of my content will be shifting to focus more on me rebranding and basically focusing on tech, marketing, and travel. That will be like my niche and just the focus of all of my content, and really just showing like my video editing style, my cinematography, because one of the biggest things I really want to do creatively is create short films, travel films, and grow a travel media business and agency. And that's next level, but I also am focused on growing as a web app and mobile app developer and creating some fun apps for myself from some creative ideas I have. But also right now I'm working on my portfolio, so I plan to start sharing what those apps are that I'm building for my portfolio. And I've gotten like a few great ideas, like, from other business owners and from people who like have different things that they are struggling with, or just for entertainment purposes that they want created. So I realized that in the whole tech space, as far as web app and mobile app development, when it comes to content creation, there are not a lot of Black women who make the type of content that I actually seek out and that I actually enjoy. A lot of those creators that I find, they're either Asian men, Asian women, or of course white men who make that type of content, where they're actually showing their journey, showing everything that they're building, not hiding, I don't know, I feel as though a lot of people don't do it because they feel like people are just going to take something from them, or like, I don't know what the energy is, but and people just feel like, I guess some Black people just feel like it's a waste of their time if it's not something they're making money off of immediately, which I get that. But at the same time, if you're trying to make money and you don't understand marketing, but you are a mobile app or web app developer, and you don't just want to solely just work for a company, but you want to grow your own brand and business and get your own clients, you have to know marketing. So one of the big things, like I've been doing digital marketing for the past 5 years, so I already have that skill. So once I launch, I'm planning to launch 2 apps this year. I'm co-founding one app, so for a chef and caterer for their business, and then I'll be launching my app at the end of the year. And I already have like 2 web app projects in my portfolio. I did not document those processes, but I'm going to start sharing them. I'm going to document everything that I'm building next, because I want to build up my portfolio before I do go back to the States to do my coding program. And that's a big part of what I'll be sharing moving forward in the next few months. Actually, everything building in public, everything that I am learning, everything that I am building, my struggles, everything that doesn't make sense, everything that I've overcome throughout this whole journey and now throughout this whole process. And I know for me, like, I'm all about pivoting and going after freedom and doing whatever it is that you're passionate about and that you want and desire in life. And I can't force myself not to do things that make me happy and that bring me joy and allow me to use my creative gifts and talents. So that is a big part of this journey and what it is that I'm doing. And why I decided to come to Da Nang and come to Vietnam at all after I left Thailand. Because literally I could have went anywhere, after I left Thailand. But this was very strategic. It wasn't just on a whim. I knew my contract was coming to an end, and I have a certain amount of money. And throughout that, I'm still like freelancing and like growing my clientele for like my freelance. But let me get back to this. This is very strategic. I came to Vietnam specifically because, of course, everybody knows the cost of living in Thailand. It's really great if you're seeking to save money, if you're building or growing. But I heard and I researched and found that Vietnam is a lot more affordable, even more affordable than living in Thailand as far as rent, food, and those are the things that would basically cost the most money. You got to eat every day, and you got to have some place to stay. So I'm going to take you all through that journey a little bit. Like, I've already found a great deal. We found us a gym here that is $8 a month, and it is fully stacked. It has everything, and that's important to us because we are trying to be whole mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, creatively, but everything. So like, actually, you need optimal health, longevity. You need a lot of energy. I need a lot of energy to do the work that I am doing, and to have the energy to fulfill all of my goals and do the work that I'm doing each day. Like, if I'm tired and if I'm sluggish, I'm not gonna be able to get the work done that I need to get done. So going to the gym early in the morning is important. Us getting up in the morning and studying, doing our coding, working on projects. So right now we're working on React, which is basically a React library, helping us to build our web apps and our websites that we are developing. So I'm actually going to have a few projects that I may or may not do for free for a few people as I continue to build my portfolio, because I've already designed websites and stuff for people over the years, but that was just the designing. It was like a no-code web development essentially, and now I'm into the actual coding because I want to have all of the creative freedom and actually know all of the technical behind it. But we're about to start learning some of the back end things, and I know for some of y'all this may or may not make sense, but I just wanted to share a little bit about the journey that I'm on and why I made the decision to leave Bangkok in Thailand. And honestly, this is a bit of my reflection, and I do not feel as though every black woman experience or every black person's experience is going to be my experience. I also previously lived in Thailand. 2020 to 2022, I lived in Phuket. That was a different time. The world was completely different. I had about $10,000 saved up when I left China and moved to Thailand at that time, and I really was just building and working on myself, learning digital marketing, growing my skills with photography, videography, and all of the different things with social media marketing, SEO, and building systems. So that was its own little process. But that brings me here to have this conversation about my journey and my experience this time around, because then I really was just living my life. There was I had all the freedom to do everything that I wanted, need, and desired at that time. Did not have to work or do anything else. So I was in a great space in life to do that. Now, this time around, the last 10 months of me living in Thailand, of course, like I said, I was teaching English as a second language, but I also simultaneously, I was freelancing as a digital marketer, having my own clients on the side, because I'm all about money and doing things. I got skills to make me money, and I knew working in Thailand, I didn't come here for the money. I came here to build and to work on a skill, something that I wanted to be able to show for the last 10 months of me being here. There was something that's very specific. I need to be in a place with a low cost of living in order for me to work on building a skill without having to stress about bills and all these other things. So my experience with teaching in Thailand, I'm not going to say this is everybody's experience, and it doesn't have to be, because I had an office with some people who are Americans and some people who are British. And from the Americans, it was me, another black American, a Chinese American, a white American, and an Indian American. So it was a culturally diverse office. Okay, we are all completely different people, completely different personalities. I am who I am, and I don't feel as though we all had the same experience as far as dealing with our students or dealing with our managers or other people who, so I had instances where I'll say this, because I'm a great teacher. I actually do the work. I'm very creative. I know how to engage a class. I know how to teach. And I know what I'm doing. I'm very skilled in this. So my issues, and where I would talk about my experience that might differ from other people, I've had instances where students called me a monkey, told me to go back to it. You look like a monkey and you live in a zoo, so go back to the zoo type shit. And these are things I had to address with them and let them know that's not okay. But prior to even getting there, I had students who were writing things in Thai in their desks that were just disrespectful and just rude. I had a student draw a picture and then like holding poop and gonna put my name on it. It was just like little shit that I kept dealing with students. And I feel as though one instance is because this was a private school and these children, their parents paid for them to come there. This was rich Thai students who just, some of them just had no respect. Some of them probably never had an ass whooping in their life. And, so it's a lot of different things. It's just discipline. I feel as though that truly lacked in some of their lives, and some of them act like they never had been told no. And I don't know if the issue is them being told no, or if it's the issue that they was being told no by me, this Black American woman who's teaching them. But I had little issues like that, or issues where it's like I was having an issue with my students, and we have co-teachers, and my co-teacher, he would address it with our Thai office manager, and she would come and she would actually rectify the situation and talk to them, versus if I was alone and I called her, she would look at the students and see and hear whatever they're saying, and she would just laugh and not really do anything to help me. So those are things I just personally didn't appreciate, and that I also felt as though I wouldn't want to keep continuing being there, especially teaching another year at that school or with them. It's just like little things where I'm just like, I don't have to do this. Like, I was doing it because I needed the time and the space to build towards something that I was doing. So I could also say in my own space and taking responsibility, knowing that my full heart wasn't into the whole teaching thing. Some of them, that is their goal. That's something they're going to be doing for a good little while while they still work through whatever it is they doing in their life. But it just, who I am now and who I was, in 2018, in 2020, in 2022, I'm not that same person. I've grown, I've developed, I've transformed in so many different ways. Like, I've literally have worked in corporate as a social media marketer and as a digital marketer, worked corporate jobs, corporate roles, in person and remotely. But then I also have freelance, so actually navigating and creating my own systems to deal with and onboard my own clients and work through helping them to reach their goals, whatever it was when it came to marketing. So I'm in a space where I'm like, I want to put all of my energy, all of my creative gifts and talents behind me, behind my brands, because I feel as though that's what's most important. The amount of energy and time that I've given to jobs and given to putting it towards clients and things like that, I've never pushed my own Exploring Essence brand in that same way. And I'm like, I'm not going to keep letting time go by where I don't put everything I can behind growing and growing my personal brand, growing my business brand, and then also the journey that I'm on with launching my apps and launching my mobile app and web app development agency in tandem with my creative media agency. Y'all don't understand. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. It takes systems. It takes discipline. It takes consistency. It takes commitment. And it takes me actually doing the work and being in the space where I feel as though I can be creative, and I feel as though I can have the time, the energy, and just create that balance in my life. And that's where I'm at. That's why I came to Vietnam at this time, to create balance and to see what this experience would be like for me if this was in alignment with the journey that I'm on. And I'm like, I needed the peace. I feel as though there were a lot of times when I was in Bangkok as well, there were parts of me where I'm just like, I would be so upset and so annoyed getting on the metro, the BTS train station. And then I felt just having this a little bit of aggression that was in me, where I'm just I'm ready to curse somebody out. Because I also had lots of instances with some of the locals. And I don't know if it was because it's me and I'm a Black woman and I look good, you know what I mean? But then I'm also I'm with my man. So I don't know, it's different for people if you come somewhere and you move and you're a couple in a relationship and then y'all are always together and you're in a space like that. Because the energy that I felt, especially from a lot of those women, what is it? Lust? A lot of them were really lusting after my man. A lot of them were really some Jezebels. It's a particular word I'm trying to think about, but it's not coming to me right now, but I've said it before. But it's just a particular energy that they was giving, and they just had these stank attitudes, or just really just was acting like they would just be mad at me, thinking that I took somebody that they thought they might have would have got if I wasn't here. I don't know what it is. Some of them thought probably got issues with the Africans who lived here, and some of them probably thought I was African. I don't know. It was a lot of different issues and just microaggressions that I felt and that I experienced during that time, where I'm just I need my peace. I don't want to curse somebody out, but then also I'm like, these aren't things that I experienced my first time around living in Thailand and living in Phuket specifically versus living in Bangkok. So there's just little things where I'm just like, I didn't come here for this. One, I already didn't want to live in Bangkok, but I made that sacrifice because I need the time and the space to do what I needed to do, and I needed a visa. So I went there to teach, and that's how I got my visa. And there were just like little things that I experienced and dealt with, even with people who worked in my building, where like our condo where we live. Like some of them ladies literally would hold the door for other foreigners, but then like they literally would see me coming and they would just let the door close, or they would just be little shit that they would do, and I'm just like, I just have to laugh it off. But I'm like, you don't understand. I really want to curse people out, and I really had to. I feel as though in a lot of ways God was teaching me patience and just getting me to a space where I'm like, I'm just ready to curse somebody out. And I'm like, that's not the energy I ever felt prior when I lived in China, or even when I lived in Thailand that first time. I'm just like, I don't know what it is. I know I'm a different person than I was during that other time, but I'm like, what's going on? What is it, God? You know, I had to pray a lot and just ask God some questions because I don't understand what's going on. But that's neither here nor there. Those are just little things that I experienced. And in addition to that, like the picture taking, people want to continuously want to try to take pictures of us, or sometimes me and my man together and they just trying to take a picture of him, like literally zooming in and cropping me out. People are fucking crazy. It's just little shit that really piss me off, because if y'all don't get the fuck on, like, it's literally the energy I felt a lot of times. I just want to curse people out, and I'm really just having to mug people, or it's like people who mugging me. I don't even see them and they mugging me, you know, and my man see it, and it's just like, what are y'all on? And it's like, y'all ain't even bold enough to come up and say nothing. That's the other thing. I respect somebody who would be bold enough to come up and say something. I respect that more than just the microaggressions and like the bullshit that is unnecessary because of some shit that people done made up in their head, or some fairy tale scenario they made up in their head that was never going to happen. People are crazy. That's what I had to realize. People are crazy. They have their own issues. Everybody is going through what they are going through, and you just gotta leave it at a God bless and continue to just be who you are and do the work that God put you here on this earth to do. And that's what I had to just tell myself. I'm here for a purpose, and everything that God has put on the inside of me, I've been put here to share with the world. And I'm going after my passions. I'm going after my heart desires. I'm going to do everything that I want, need, and desire in this lifetime. I'm going to build the brands, build the businesses, and like communicate the messages that God wants me to put out into the world. So those are all, if I bring it all together, are the reasons why I decided to come here this time around. This is why I'm in Vietnam. I'll be showing a little bit more about, you know, just the cost of things, what I'm doing here, and the next part of this experience when I go to Indonesia, because that is the biggest part. That's what I'm most excited about, going to Indonesia and seeing what that experience is like for me. I already found the place where we're going to be staying. It's a nice little cute little villa. And I'm excited. It's going to be a new, different experience. And I hope you all stay tuned with me, especially as I start launching and showing my journey, transitioning into web app and mobile app development, building different projects for my portfolio, and then actually building projects that I'm actually going to ship, or, you know, actually put on the app store and like make go live, and you all see through that whole process. I don't feel as though there are enough black women who are showing the end-to-end process of building apps and web app and mobile app development and website development. So I want to be that person. I want to show up in that space and really dominate in a way that it hasn't been done yet or before. And because I've done all the research and I know how to position myself and the messages that I want to spread out, the messages I want to put into the world, I know who my target audience is. So I'm just ready to really just put all of my energy and emotions into doing this and sharing it with the world. And I hope you all are going to stay tuned for this journey. And I hope if you made it to the end of this video that you know, this is in alignment with the journey that you're on, or like that you're here to support me, and that you go ahead and just like, subscribe, and comment down below any questions that you may have on this journey, or anything that you'd like to see from me moving forward. Any questions you may have about my time living in China, my time living in Thailand, or what this experience is for me right now in Vietnam. Just comment them down below. Or if you're curious about or need video editing work done for you, digital marketing work, if you are a founder, if you are a creative entrepreneur, a service provider, or a product owner, you know, let's talk. Let's get into those conversations. You can view my portfolio down below, and yeah, let's work. Let's do this. And I hope that you are going after everything that you want, need, and desire this year.